Hello and welcome to another video here on Crash Course History. Today we will be discussing The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. and the after effects of World War II on Jeju Island.
Lisa C's The Island of Sea Women follows the history of Jeju Island as it depicts the daily life of Korean Haeuneo and their families, as well as portraying the friendship between Young-suk and Mija, two childhood friends who experience trials and tribulations together. As they get older, however, they get torn apart due to inexorable forces and miscommunication during the Bukchon massacre, the most brutal indiscriminate mass shooting throughout the Jeju uprising.
During World War II, Jeju Island was used by Japan to fight for control and station troops, but after it ended, Japan left Jeju Island and America took control. They claimed to have a joint government with Jeju, meaning that the Jeju officials had some say in what occurred in the government, but neither America nor Jeju cared about the welfare of the everyday citizen. This led to a major rebellion trying to overthrow the government, and in response the government allowed police and other authorities to go on a killing spree to find out the culprits of the starting rebellion. This killing spree became the 4.3 incident.
The 4.3 incident. The long-term police oppression on Jejuans led to a rebellion and resulted in the 4.3 incident, which started with the Bukchon massacre. Everyone in Bukchon was rounded up, and almost everyone was killed under suspicion of being part of the rebellion. The 4.3 incident lasted 7 years, which included all of the times the police and other authorities unjustly killed people to quell the ongoing rebellion. After this event ended, the main character of C's book recalls, more people died in Bukchon than any other village during all of the years of the 4.3 incident. Bukchon was also the village where she was trapped before she escaped back to her hometown and found safety.
After 7 years of unjust killings, the 4.3 incident ended and the people were again affected by the government trying to cover up their misdeeds. This resulted in the guilt by association system, which stated that anyone who died during the 7 years was considered guilty of being part of the rebellion. The government also put restrictions on religion, and there was a shortage of men compared to women because mostly men were killed during the incident.
The confusion, chaos, and mass killings in Jeju caused a huge population gap between men and women. In C's book, Young-suk explains that Jeju has always had a surplus of women, but with many men and boys killed, with entire posterity lines wiped out, the imbalance was even greater. The majority of people killed were male because they were the main suspects of starting or being a part of the rebellion. Research also shows that most victims were males in their teens and 20s. So many people died in the unjust killings of the 4.3 incident, but even the gender of the people was discriminated against during this time.
Young-suk, a believer in shamanism, struggled when the government banned her religion. She states, although a Japanese colonist had sought to ban shamanism, the new leader of our country decided to end it once and for all. Shamanism's believers had to meet in secret. Their instruments were destroyed, and if caught, they would be fined or imprisoned. History research articles also state that during the Japanese colonial period, shamanism was discouraged as a form of nationalist Korean religion. The government wanted the people to convert to Christianity, a religion that forgives, so that they could control Jejuans to forgive their mistake.
Guilt by association. The guilt by association system stated that anyone who died during the 4.3 incident was guilty of being part of the rebellion. Young-suk says, "What future can I give my children where we legally have the guilt by association system? Anyone who died is considered guilty." Victims were blamed for the events that happened during the 4.3 incident, and their families had a harder time for the same reason. Instead, people tried to achieve the status of victim in order to be freed from the guilt by association system. In pursuance of her purpose, the private memories accessed through the relatives and the death from the massacre were selectively written and edited. Basically, the government wanted to blame their mistake on the people and circumstances instead of taking responsibility for not controlling the police and the authorities.
Because of World War II and the 4.3 incident, a lot of traumatic events occurred in Jeju and caused a lot of dramatic changes to control the people, which were demonstrated in C's novel. After the government started investigating the events that happened and apologized for them, these effects were resolved, but the memories were not erased from the people who experienced them. Now, Jeju Island is a self-governing province of South Korea and is thriving in a democracy without oppression, and Lisa C's book helps to enlighten the world about the history of Jeju.